Ready? Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'd like to call to order the March 9th, 2026 Board of Education regular scheduled meeting. Brenda, can we have a roll call? I'm sorry, we're in the ECC in the boardroom. Brenda, can we have a roll call of the board, please?
Flickema? Here. Stanton? Here. Price?
Here.
Hilton? Here. Wenger?
Here.
Hess here. Brock?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we have the Pledge of Allegiance, please? The flag is in the back. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. I will hear a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Price, support by Mr. Winger. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you, Board. Our next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Mr. Pouch?
Thank you, Mr. Brock. Good evening to everybody. Good evening to the board. Good evening to our community members that are here. Several items on the SUPS report this evening, as it's been a busy February and start of March here at Thornapple Kellogg School. The first thing I have is I want to thank Journey Church. Maybe you saw it on social media or in other advertisements, but Journey Church in some of their folks that are involved in the church were able to donate to all of our local schools, but I'll just talk about TK, where they were able to come and present us with a $9,800 check to be used to help support students. So that is a lot of money that will go a long way to our kids. So we had the opportunity to invite them on campus and get a picture and had great conversations with them about needs and potential spendings of the money. So thank you to Journey Church for that $9,800 donation. And also we had a wrestling donation that was $5,000, and that person wanted to remain anonymous. So I can't give thank you to that because I don't know who it was, but again, that's a large chunk of money that we want to make sure we give thanks to, and that person was very descriptive on where those monies can go and what they can and can't be used for. So again, that is a $5,000 donation that will benefit our kids. So one of the many donations that we get, but two of them I wanted to highlight today as part of my superintendent's report. The second item that I have is thank you to the staff members and parents that helped with the Odyssey of the Mind regionals a couple weeks ago. In case you didn't know, we had over 18 teams for TK schools at regionals. 12 of our teams qualified for states, and there was over 1,000 students and parents here. So it was a big undertaking for our staff, custodial staff, right on through all of our coaches for Odyssey of the Mind. So thank you to their support and their fine planning on having an outstanding event. I've heard from a non-biased source, because I'm a little biased for TK schools, as I was at a fellow Kent County district on Friday, and one of their individuals who was working there sought me out to specifically tell me how well it went and how well it was ran, as that person had kids that were here. So kudos to our Odyssey of the Mind staff and students. We look forward to recognizing them for their success at an upcoming board meeting. Also, I would like to thank Athletic Director Brian Hammer and his staff. We hosted wrestling districts for team and individuals, and that's a large undertaking as well. Anytime you host an MHSA tournament, you might be there till 10 o'clock at night, not even watching your own teams. In wrestling, at least you get to start with your teams there, but you may not advance, and you may not have kids that advance late in the night. So thank you to Brian and his team. I heard positive feedback from the folks that were at that event as well, and I got to take in one of those events myself. So it was well ran, and thank you to the participants. And thank you to the MHSA for entrusting us to host it. It is quite a process to apply and get selected to host MHSA tournament events. Some of you may have the opportunity last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to attend the high school musical, All Shook Up. I know I watched numerous practices in the months leading up to this, and our students were on par for an excellent performance. Thank you to the staff and the co-directors and the parent volunteers that make that performance come together as well. Just a great opportunity to showcase all the wonderful things happening here at TK Schools. So if you didn't get a performance, able to come to that performance, I certainly could probably get you a copy if you want to watch it. Also, it is one of my favorite months in education. March is reading month, particularly at the elementary level. You see such excitement when it comes to the guest readers and creating the level of reading and getting books in their hands. And today I had the opportunity to again partake in another reading opportunity to a class, and truly was the highlight of my day. No offense, board members, I love being here as well, but just being with a bunch of second graders and chatting with them about the book and seeing their engagement and their excitement truly is the foundation of why we do what we do. So looking forward to continued celebrations during the March is Reading Month calendar events that all of our buildings have. And last, one thing I'd like to update the board on, as I updated the personnel committee, is our updated organizational chart. So as part of ensuring strong alignment with our strategic plan, and board, this is on the screen, it's also, we put it today in the packet under the SOUPS report. Ensuring strong alignment with our strategic plan and eliminating working in silos. That's something that we have talked about immensely here, systematic approaches. It's important that we maintain an accurate organizational structure that clearly defines roles and responsibilities within our organization. In alignment with board policies 1100 and 1230, which charge the superintendent with recommending administrative positions and aligning staffing to support our educational goals, I have updated our organizational chart to better reflect how our district actually operates now that I've been here almost a year and have a good grip on our entire organization. First, I am recommending a title change from assistant superintendent to deputy superintendent for Mark Provost. Mark oversees multiple departments and serves as my second in command at Thornapple Kellogg Schools. And a deputy superintendent serves that better and reflects the actual responsibility of his work as opposed to an assistant superintendent, which typically oversees one department. You'll see on the organizational chart, he has as many responsibilities as I do. I have one more than him because I oversee him, but he has a full plate which oversees multiple departments. So a deputy superintendent in that situation fits the organizational structure. Second, I recommend changing the director of curriculum title to the director of teaching and learning. And the third change is the director of special education title to director of student services, as both of these positions, it clearly covers the entire scope of their work without getting into full detail. Please note, there are no salary changes associated with these job title changes. These changes are about clarity, alignment, and strengthening our organizational structure to support our strategic plan and having a clear vision of how our district flows and operates. So, subsequent to any questions, that does conclude my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Rob. Did the board have any questions for Rob? All right. Next item on the agenda, public input. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Yes, all right, just like here, let me read our policy and then we'll invite you up. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance for allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Members of the public may address the Board of Education during public comment for up to 3 minutes. Speakers will be recognized by the presiding officer and are asked to state their name, address, and group affiliation if applicable. As a reminder, all comments shall be directed to the board and not to staff or other participants. No participant may speak more than once. Participants may not behave in a manner that is disruptive to the orderly conduct of the meeting. The Board of Education does not respond to public comment. The superintendent will follow up with speakers when appropriate. At this time, we'll open public comment. Ms. Hamlin, did you have something? Thank you.
All right. Good evening. My name is Miss Hamlin. I am the TK Agri-Science high school teacher here, and I am representing these awesome FFA students that I have over on my right-hand side. To start, we attended the 98th annual Michigan State FFA convention this past week. It's pretty crazy to think about. FFA has been in Michigan for almost a decade now. I have several students that attended. I'm going to start with Emerson Pratt. She served as a delegate this past week and served by voting on any Michigan FFA Constitution and bylaw changes. She also voted on the state officer team that is going to be elected and serving next year as the state association officers. Second up, I want to recognize students that received awards for their SAE, which is Supervised Agricultural Experience. So these students have projects externally outside of school that they received awards for. To start, we have Alexa Hooksma. She received a silver award for her sheep production placement. Alexa raises and breeds livestock or sheep on her farm. I have Emily Stevens, who received a silver award for her diversified livestock production. Emily works with alpacas, draft horses, donkeys, other diversified livestock that she works with at a local farm in the area. And then Miley Voss, she could not be here. She's actually working on the dairy farm that she received an award for this evening. She received a gold award, and she was actually our state runner-up for being a state winner this year for her SAE in dairy production. So those three students have done an amazing job and deserve that recognition. My other students that I have received Outstanding Junior Awards. In order to receive this award, you have to be an FFA for at least a year, have a valid SAE, have 10 hours of community service, and participate in one activity above the chapter level. The students that received the Outstanding Junior Awards are Vivian Hansen, Alexa Hooksma, Emily Stevens, Allison Wallowitz, Paige Seeley, and Miley Voss, both of which have prior obligations this evening. My last group of individuals that I will recognize received their state FFA degree. This is the highest degree that you can obtain in the state of Michigan, and these are the first degrees that I've gotten awarded since the chapter has been rechartered in 2022, which is really exciting. In order to achieve this award, you have to be an FFA for at least 2 years, earn their chapter degree and their Green Hand degree, earn $2,000 or invest 500 hours in an SAE, have 25 hours of community service, participate in 5 activities above the chapter level, and they earn 6 credits to Michigan State University. The following students received their state degree, and we have Zach Heinbeck, Erica Wallowitz, Abby LaJoy, and Charlotte Dykstra, who could not be here this evening with prior obligations. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, students, for coming tonight. We really appreciate you guys taking time out of your night to come here. Thank you. You all right, Mark? All right. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? All right, this one here.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Winger. I live on Green Lake Road in Middleville. My husband Tyler and I currently have 2 students in TK. One is at Page and one is at the middle school. And we have a future TK student heading probably Mrs. Hooksman's way in the near future. Tyler and I are both TK alumni. In fact, our children are the 6th generation of Wingers to attend TK schools. I am a mom, and I have been an educator for 15 years, and I am a wife of a current school board member. As a mom and an educator, I try to stay informed about the things going on in our school district. I believe TK does an amazing job with communications. Staff and administrators send weekly newsletters. The TK Facebook page is full of information and positive stories of what is happening in our district, and Rob, your updates are very fun and informative. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend all of the school board meetings because someone's got to be home with the kids. Which is why I love the fact that we live stream them. I get to watch them every month. I was a bit taken back last week in regards to a public comment about the interactions of our school board members. When I look at our 7 current school board members, I see a diverse group of individuals. and I personally think that's a great thing. I see 5 out of the 7 board members who are TK alumni, which means those individuals love this district so much that they chose to raise their families here and serve our district by being on the school board. I see board members who coach TK teams, judge different events such as FFA, show up to TK events like sports, band, Odyssey of the Mind, our wonderful unified sports activities, Career Week, and of course, the amazing varsity girls cheer send-off, which was last week. It's very good to see you there. Our 10-year-old daughter is still talking about Mia Hilton and loves her. There are so many great things happening at TK, and I think that is the narrative we want to set for our district. All 7 board members were elected by this community and went through the public interview process, and some of you have done both, which is a hard thing to go through. Sitting here and interviewing in front of the public is not an easy thing to do. Going through an election, being a wife of a school board member, I can tell you, not an easy thing to do. That should be the number, or sorry, let me back up there. Your goal, and I think all of our goal, is to do what's best for students. That should be our #1 goal. I think disagreements are going to happen. I think silence is okay if you have no response. And I think it is important that we remember that we have the same goal, which is to do what's best for the kids in the district.
Thank you.
More Derek.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak at this time? If you stay for the end, there is another one. All right, we'll close public comment at this time. Mark? Thank you, FFA. All right, the next item on our agenda, committee and liaison reporting. We had a personnel committee report. Rob shared a little bit of our meeting that we had. Some updates. We're also on the agenda here going to talk about some, further down, the 31A new positions as well. I do have some questions on another meeting that took place, but before that, do we have any other committees that met?
Yeah, there it is, sorry. The TAPRC met last week. Following the 5-year plan that did get approved and everything's processed, our next step is basically working with the locals to see what tasks they want to attack, I guess, or get done. There's a lot of great ideas in that 5-year plan that we heard from the community, and now we're kind of just up to coordinating with the townships and the village and everybody to figure out what to do next.
Have there been any grants that they've, zeroed in on that they want to go for?
I believe the village is, maybe already has a grant or working with something to do with a grant to replace the section of trail in town, south of town, replacing 2 bridges and redoing the parking area at the end of McCann. But that's, I don't know, I don't know much more than that, other than that.
Gotcha.
So,
Yep, I just know when we all came together as a group, was it August? August, we all came together as a group, they said that they were gonna pass a strategic plan, get that in motion, then identify
yep,
some
so
grants.
the 5-year plan now is approved to use through any of the 3 entities.
Yep,
If they have a grant and they need that 5-year plan to get that grant, that is available, now that it's been approved through the state.
yep,
So,
great, fantastic,
I think I'll have more to update after our next quarterly meeting. But
great, thanks, Mark. Some of the other questions, another question that we had that involved another meeting that was on actually Rob's docket. For the members of the public that are here, Rob is, we all, during Rob's evaluation, rated his communication, I don't know if you get more than an A+, but we were all up there. On his communication, he listed that there was a meeting that was taking place between some of the board cabinet, and I wanted to address it here publicly with everyone that, yes, there's a meeting that takes place with 3 members of the board. And what we do at that meeting is, I'm sorry, let me back up. Before, it is the responsibility of the president to set the agenda for the meeting. Now, in the past, that's looked different. I know there's been phone calls between the president and the superintendent. Rob has made it in and my thought is, hey, let's get more people involved, because if I'm headed to the meeting, I get a flat tire, can't make it, someone else has to step in. So we've invited members of the cabinet to be there. We don't go more than required, and that way we're right in with what changes happen. No official decisions happen at this meeting. Actually, the only, I think, official decision that happened at this meeting last time was me moving some items on the agenda around. But if there's any questions on that, we can address them now or go on to our next item.
No, I think it helps immensely with being able to, take off the next meeting, say something does happen. I'm well aware of how that's structured, so
Yep.
that helps me out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we had some previous board members fall off, a lot of our experience kind of went out the door with them. And I see it as the best thing that we can do for TK schools is to make sure everyone here has some sort of experience in different committees and such, so that way someone's not walking the committee going, I don't know what we're doing here, right? So the committee assignments and stuff that I made in the beginning of the year moved people around to get some different experience. We're all relatively new in our tenure and hopefully here for a long time, but that's the reason behind our meeting and the committee assignments, but I just wanted to address it out here for everyone to know. All right, our next item is the consent grouping. Did we have any questions on the consent grouping? Or want to pull anything out? If not, I'll entertain a motion regarding the consent grouping.
I move we approve the consent grouping items 3A through 3E.
Support.
We have a motion by Ms. Hess and support by Mr. Winger. Any discussion on the motion? All right, I believe that's a roll call vote. Ms. Hess?
Brock?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Winger?
Yes.
Hilton?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Flickema?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, board. Our next item on the agenda, the Lee Elementary Building presentation. Mark, did you break the TV? Oh, okay. Good thing we got Mr. Dombrowski here. Oh, okay.
All right, hi, I'm Sarah Jewett. I am the principal at Lee Elementary, and so I'm just gonna go over with you guys our building and some of our goals that we have going on and some of the great things that are happening right now. So we'll go over our school profile, our data, where we're at now, and then where we are going. So we are a second and third grade building. We have 445 students. I think that's probably 444 after today, but one administrator. We have 25 and a half teachers, 21 support staff, so that includes our social workers, our counselors, our speech paths, those type of people. Now, they might not be there full-time, but they're there throughout the week. Our intervention staff, so that includes all of our paraprofessionals and our behavior intervention and our Title I. And then we have 2 office staff. This is our current data to show. I chose a couple different data points. The first one is for reading accuracy in second grade. As second graders, they are really focused on decoding, accuracy, and phonics. Those are the big hitters of the things that they need to focus on in second grade. So those are the data points that we really pay close attention to in that grade level. So 78% of our kids are reading with 90% accuracy. And so that's usually what we look for. Are they at 90%? We try to get them there. And so from our fall benchmark to our winter benchmark, we improved with an average of 22 words per minute. So great improvement showing in our second graders. And then in third grade, I chose the fluency data point because fluency is huge in third grade. You go from decoding and accurate reading to can I read fluently and reading for meaning. And so 94% of our students have increased their oral reading fluency from the fall to the winter. So huge gains for both our second graders and our third graders in what they're supposed to be learning and their trajectory in learning to be readers. 61% of our kids had really ambitious growth. So what that means is that they either are at the line of growth improvement or they're above the line of growth improvement. So that is really promising for us as we look through our data. Some current things we're working on, like the other buildings, we're working on curriculum pacing and alignment. So one of the things that I charged our grade levels with is what can we guarantee that every second grader and every third grader gets each day? So making sure that we have that consistency across the building. It's actually funny, today I was walking out to recess and I walked by one third grade classroom and then I walked by the next one and they were teaching the exact same thing. And they were like finishing each other's sentences. So it was really cool to see that they are in lockstep and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We're continuing to reward kids using our PBIS structure. We just did a blow party, which was super fun. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures, but it was really, really fun. We do CKH lunches once a month. So teachers nominate 2 students from their classroom and they come and have lunch with me. They were the kids that showed the CKH word of the month. And then I also give the kids weekly challenges. So this month, the CKH word is courage. So this morning on morning announcements, I said, here's some things that you can do to show courage this week. I challenge you to do that. We also purchased this year a book vending machine. And so the kids earn TK tokens and they get to get a book out of the book vending machine if I pull their name. So that has been really fun. Coming back from spring break, we're going to start to implement some zones of regulation and some calming corners within classrooms. So just helping our students to regulate their emotions. Second and third graders, they have really big emotions and they're not sure how to handle those sometimes. So just having that spot, they do it at McFall, so carrying that over into second grade, from first grade to second grade, will be really helpful for some of those kids. We're building a culture of readers. That's really important to us. So we have our book vending machines. We're doing our March book madness. So that is super fun and exciting for the kids. And then we're also doing book recommendations for kids. We are an inclusion school. So a lot of our ASD students go into the general education classroom. And actually on Thursday, we are all coming over to the high school and we are going to support our fellow students in their unified basketball game. So we're really excited about that. And then thinking about community involvement, we're bringing back Special Persons Day in May. So inviting people in to come and have lunch with our students at Lee. And just something we wanted to add in there, we are the #1 top raising school for Kids Hard Challenge in Michigan, which was astounding to me. So that was just a point of pride for all of us. And it's really cool. If anybody hasn't had a chance to come and see the Kids Heart Challenge, it is so fun. But I mean, the gym is all decked out. The kids are just listening to music, and it's a great day. So next year, come on out. And then, where we are going. So our building focus for the next 1 to 2 years is we're going to continue that ELA implementation. We are on year 2. Implementation science is 3 to 5 years. So we are still in that implementation phase, making sure that we're refining some of those instructional practices, keeping that consistency, looking at assessments and using that data to drive our instruction, and then getting our writing up and moving. We're doing writing, but not to the degree that we want because we're really focused on that literacy piece of reading right now. So transitioning into that. From a math lens, we're gonna look at our math PLTs, start to refine some assessments, focusing on some problem solving, and then also diving into those Michigan math essential practices. And then finally, family engagement. How can we get more people into our building, more people involved, and just having the community involvement is really important.
Thank you, Ms. Jewett.
Yeah.
Any questions for Ms. Jewett?
Oh,
Did you have
I'll
one?
end with mine.
Okay.
We'll leave Ty's jokes for the last.
First, I just wanted to thank you. I love seeing that. It sounds like you guys are doing just an absolutely amazing job. I've heard a lot of great things. So I don't have littles that age anymore, but plenty of friends that do, and they are absolutely loving their experience. So I wanted to make sure to start with that. One of the questions I had, and you may not have the answer, so if it's something you need to get back on, you had stated for the first part of with reading that 78% for second grade was reading at a 90% accuracy. And then for third grade, you just said that there was a 94% increase from fall to winter. What was the accuracy number in fall, and then what is it for winter? Do we know?
Off the top of my head, no. It was, so that was for words per minute, because we really
Okay.
focus on the words per minute. The kids that aren't reading accurately, they usually get the intervention of phonics and decoding. So if they're not at that 90% mark, then we go and we intervene
Gotcha.
on that phonics and decoding piece.
Okay,
So-
awesome. And then, again, probably something you don't know offhand, but I was curious as to, you said this is a 3-year program that you're doing right now with the literacy?
So it takes 3 to 5 years to implement like a new literacy instruction. So we had a new curriculum last year.
So this is year 2.
So this is year 2. Yep.
Is there any way, like, you'd be able to show what the difference is from when you guys started in the beginning to where we're at now, just so I'd love to see that growth. That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my other question is with the book vending machines. I know I've spoken with Rob about it before, but I do get questions, so I figured if this is live streamed, parents can
Yeah,
hear.
absolutely.
Can you share how those books are chosen? If there's like a list that's kept, if they're vetted? Could you share that process?
Yeah, so at my previous district, we had book vending machines and we had a whole book vetting process. And so what I typically do is I go through and I select first by grade level, making sure that they can read the books. But then also having that wide range, because we have a lot of different readers. But then I also go to Common Sense Media. So that is one that I use. And I will tell you, Amazon reviews are also a really good one if you go on and you read, and you can read some of those reviews just for appropriateness. And actually, when I bought the book vending machine, it came with a bunch of books. And the books that they sent, I pulled them out. Nope, and they weren't appropriate. And so I think that having that process, and I went through that process at my previous district, and I had a whole breakdown of how we did it. So I typically choose the books. So
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That was something that comes up a lot, so I think that's going to be really helpful.
No, I know it's a big thing, and it's hard, but yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm more concerned about, we're number 1, but how close is number 2?
Right? Seriously. I actually went home and I told my kids, I said, so, you guys doing Kids Heart Challenge? Guess who's number 1?
But if they're right on our heels, we got to make it even bigger this year. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
And you
I
gotta
thought-
watch out because you might get suckered into jump roping. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that too.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Jewett. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, our next item, capital improvement projects. Mr. Pouch, is this you or is this Mr.
This will be me.
Ovo?
So, well, good evening, board. Yeah, just wanted to touch base as we.
Get your mic, thanks, sir.
All right, just as we start to ramp up with projects this spring, summer, just wanted to focus your attention to some projects that we have on our hopper. These are projects that, we talk about in cabinet that are just in the wings, and wanted you to be aware of us doing these. So this document that you see in front of us, first off, is our capital improvement fund. Last month at the budget presentation, that was discussing our general fund. So keep in mind, this is a totally separate fund. So this is what we call Fund 49, or capital improvements. So most of these funds, though, as you can see, we do invest, have $763,000, and this is where we have the big year-end transfer of $950,000. So we have access to about $1.71 million. Below that, though, you can see we have 10 major projects that we're at least looking into, 4 of which we're going to be voting on tonight related to technology purchases. So Just as we go through these, we wanted to make sure you guys were aware of just what we're looking at and go from there. But all things considered, even with the expenses, we're looking at having a remaining balance of $285,000. What that doesn't also consider is items, if you were to number these, 4 and 5 are at a 70% reimbursement. So you can see the true cost, which is to the right of that column. So should have actually much more than the 285 that's quoted. So any questions that you guys may have?
I'll note, some of this is reoccurring, like, expenses, right? Like, some of
Yeah.
the.
Yep, some
I
of
see we have
these-
some devices for students and teachers, that's on a reoccurring
Yep.
schedule, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just as we wanted to make sure that you guys were well aware of what comes out of the capital improvement fund. But yeah, a lot of these are reoccurring, especially the technology when it comes to student devices or teacher laptops.
Great.
So,
Were this may sound like a stupid question, were the pilot classes, like, was that the CTE?
yeah, so the pilot classes are looking at furniture.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So, as we prepare for potentially a future bond issue, a lot of the furniture in our district is very dated, and we're in the midst of just, seeing what's out there, and we're looking at possibly doing a classroom for each of the 5 buildings, or have you at roughly about $25,000 per classroom. So,
Great.
yeah, so, sorry, that was my best wording for that, but as you know, the busing at McFall's not great with just the flow of traffic, and so right now we're working to figure out how we can best serve our community by making sure that the flow of it for the future becomes much better than it is today.
So parent drop-off, not busing then.
Yeah, so the,
Seems to work fine, but it's the first grade drop-off line going on the road and everything, that seems to be a big issue.
sorry,
Both of them could be impacted. So we're working with GMB, our architectural firm. We've brought them in, our local folks. We have some amazing people in-house here, but sometimes it's always good to have an outside trained professional eye. So in the report, I think I noted that a couple times, that in the weekly report. So in fact, we got our next meeting tomorrow where they're gonna roll out what I hope is 8 different options, and we can pick the top couple and narrow it down. It could impact rerouting busing. It could impact having another parking lot. It could lead to more walk-up pickups versus just door-to-door. So we're vetting through all the options with a trained eye to take the helicopter view, and how, if nothing else, do we shift the traffic to the south of Main Street versus lining up on Main Street. So we'll know more. I'll know more tomorrow, and then hopefully it'd be great if in the next month or two we have a concrete proposal of, hey, here's 2 options, or here's just 1 option, and we'll bring it to the board for approval. We just locked in that $100,000 for the audience members that don't know. It's the sheet we're looking at has $100,000, just a ballpark range of if we had to add on some parking spaces or beef up some current parking spaces that we have now.
Great.
yeah, so
All-
that
all
should be
things we've
known
done
for all
before.
these. A lot of these are just, estimates. Some of them are, board approvals, items 3, or is it 4, 5, 6, and 7 tonight. Those are actual items, the cost.
Some of the, or maybe one of, or more of the ideas that they have could be a no-cost idea, essentially, right?
Yeah, we'll know more tomorrow about, what that looks and sounds like, but,
Involving shifting traffic, that would be maybe minimal cost, basically.
could be, yeah.
Yep. I know the district's done it before. They've looked at traffic studies and such, so we'll see what the experts say. And I think the goal is always what is safe for not only students, but also parents dropping kids off as well, and the buses.
Yeah, excited to see what that is.
Great. Any other questions?
Can you expound on security cameras? Is that just buying more of them, or are they getting put in different situations?
Yeah, that would be to expand some of our cameras that we would just like to have additional coverage in, that John has identified as a need.
Oh,
You and the security team. Sorry.
Thank you, John. All right, our next item on the agenda, the strategic plan update. Mr. Pausch, is this you?
Yes, Mr. President, this is me. Give us a second here to get Mark's computer back up. We did upload today in your board packet a 5-slide presentation that's just going to provide a strategic plan progress monitoring update where we're at. For the audience members, you can view it on the screen. We'll zoom in and see it the best that you can. So if you recall, at least 6 of you at this table and some in the audience, I sat right there at a desk about a year ago now, and I was excited for this opportunity. And as it goes, the board always asks the candidate, do you have any questions for us? And I had one question. You may or may not remember. I know you interview 6 people and things become a blur. But my one question was, is this board and community committed to positive change? And that's the exact response that I got from all 7 board members at the time. So this is a culmination of work of an outside lens with 21 years of experience, moving this district forward positively with students at the forefront, listening to our stakeholders on what they have said are the needs and priorities of this district. So first, I'd like to begin with an update on Goal 1, which is academics and program of our strategic plan. This progress chart, as you see in front of you, uses a simple indicator that I've used throughout many years. It's very simple. It is NS, which is red for not started. It is I, yellow, stoplight, for initiated, IP, in progress, and C, completed. Under systematic MTSS and support for struggling learners, we have initiated the Student Success Coordinator position, which I'll speak more on later this evening, which will strengthen district-wide intervention systems. You just heard some of that from the Lee presentation. We have also begun work around student assistant teams and data team meetings, which will make sure all of our buildings have a very systematic, similar approach in how we are identifying, servicing our students that are at risk. And also our K-12 curriculum maps are currently in progress. Under support for advanced learners and clear pathways, we have initiated the Student Pathways Coordinator position, which I'll talk more on later this evening as well. That will be to expand CTE, dual enrollment, early college, and other post-secondary opportunities. Those are 2 key areas where our people have spoken and we have listened and we're committed to positive change. Other such items as advanced learning options and hands-on learning opportunities remain in the early planning stages. We are also seeing progress in CTE expansion with Kent ISD Conversations. As most of you know by now, they're adding a center just north of us to the south of Caledonia at Dutton Elementary, so that'll provide closer opportunities. We're also in conversations with KISD about housing a very popular program here next year that I can't say too much on yet because we haven't worked all the kinks out. So we're having deep conversations with them about expanding KISD opportunities through CTE. And also I remain committed to serving on the focus group at KISD for the CTE expansion to make sure our kids are afforded the same opportunities as other kids. Overall, the key takeaway is that we are putting structures and leadership in place to continue to move these initiatives forward in a systematic way. Moving on to the second goal, the update we have for learning environment and culture. Under this goal, there are several initiatives that are underway to improve school climate and consistency. Again, this feedback is from our stakeholders. This is directly from the Progress Monitoring Survey. They spoke, we listened. This is what our stakeholders are saying over the course of the next 3 years we need to be focusing our efforts on. The development of a K-12 handbook is in progress, which will help create consistent expectations across all of our buildings and how we handle situations. We have also initiated redesigning our behavior intervention support systems to better support students and to reduce classroom disruptions that we hear a lot about, again, in a systematic way where our buildings have a similar approach to those behavior intervention systems. Our facility needs study is currently in progress. They were on site a couple weeks ago and will be again in the future. And we have begun, as Mark just hit on and one of the trustees asked, exploring modern pilot classrooms to update our learning environments because, again, our folks have spoken, and updating our classroom is a positive change that our community has said is important to them. The district-wide bullying reporting system and Hope Squad program are also in progress to strengthen student support. Another need, our folks spoke and we listened. Overall, this goal area focuses on creating consistent expectations, improving learning environments, and strengthening our school culture. On to our third goal. Under the communication and community engagement goal, we are working to improve consistency and always transparency in everything we do. You work with me closely. We are an open book. We will share anything and everything that we can. We do not hide anything in my office or in our buildings. We deal with it head on when need be. We currently have incident documentation procedures in progress to standardize reporting across buildings. So all of our buildings will report incidents within our student information system, from teacher to administration, support staff to administration, making sure we have that systematic approach for incident documentation. We have also initiated expanded superintendent communications, including the SUPS news page, which comes out once a month, the week after the board meeting, bi-weekly, if not weekly, 60-second superintendent updates, and bright arrow communications from building level in my office. And we've also initiated the identification of core operating procedures, and more importantly, having means systematically of how we address and engage with these core operating procedures to make sure our buildings are all handling, for example, visitors the exact same way. I mean, that's just a simple example. I could give many more. Through TK Connect, our efforts are going to include coffee and conversations with the superintendent. We're in the progress of setting those up, and also assembling student advisory councils to the superintendent, 6th graders through 12th graders, where we're going to expand opportunities for student dialogue and community dialogue as well. Overall, this goal area focuses on strengthening communication systems and increasing community engagement, and you can see the rundown on the stoplight chart of where we're at. We have 2 goals left under finance. Several initiatives focus on investing in staff and strengthening our systems. We have initiated the TK Emerging Leaders, our Leadership Academy, a concept to build internal leadership capacity. In my time as superintendent, through casual exit surveys, relocating, live in a different area, things like that. Besides that, the number one, I can't prove it in research, I can just prove it in conversations, lack of advancement opportunities in their organization. That's a lot of times why people will leave, is because there's nowhere else for me to grow in that organization. Not just talking administrators, teachers, we house 500 employees and a lot of employee groups that we always want to try to make sure we have advancement opportunities for our folks. We've also initiated efforts around sustainable staff compensation and retention. We're proud of the relationship that we have with our union groups. We're proud to invest in our staff. We're proud to make sure our spending is in alignment with our goals, but also being aware of we want to stay current the best we can with the highest paid in Kent County. The Professional Development Committee has been initiated, in Capturing Kids' Hearts implementation, re-implementation for some, is in progress as well, with that professional development scheduled for August. We are also evaluating bus tracking technology. I included that in a weekly report. We'll continue to look into that and bring that up for future conversations to improve communication and safety. And as I already said, we're continuing to work to expand CTE partnerships, not only with KISD, but also Berry County. We're engaged in that effort that they have as well. While initiating the employment of a student pathways coordinator, which has already been mentioned, that will even allow us to submerge ourselves more in this expansion of CT opportunities because we're all spread pretty thin in my office, and I'll expand on that in a minute. Overall, this goal area focuses on investing in staff, improving operational systems, and expanding student opportunities for here at Thornapple Kellogg Schools. Our last goal, finally, under operations, several initiatives are underway to strengthen district systems. We have initiated exploration of childcare services. It's come and gone through the years, so we're looking at what that looks like. What does continuity of that program look like? We third-party some of it right now. What does it look like to add more third-party services versus bringing it back in-house? And work is ongoing, as we just discussed, to improve the traffic situation and flow during drop-off and pickup times. We can't solve all of them at once, but we're starting at McFall, as that seems to be where the biggest bottleneck is at. And I have full faith that our team will have options, that we may have to retrain some of our community members of what that system looks like. As noted too, the facility needs study is currently in progress, along with the early exploration of a potential 2028 bond renewal. We are also close to launching an internal TK virtual learning option. I'll hit on that more in a minute. A couple of these new positions hinge on that, where right now, my school at Kent is the only virtual learning option that our schools have. There are many benefits to bring that back into TK schools. And with that too, we're also looking into our alternative education program and the structure and offerings within that. We view them as, although different programs, they go hand in hand for alternative learning options that our community have spoke on and said they want. Overall, this goal area focuses on long-term planning, operational improvements, and expanding options for families. So as I started this with, I said, I'm committed to positive change, and you see in front of you a great deal of positive change that my team is working tirelessly on for the betterment of our kids and for the betterment of our community. And this is the work I sat and said I get excited about, and hopefully you'll see that it is paying off, and we can all continue to brag and boast about our kids, about our staff, and the direction that this district is headed.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate the in-depthness that you have broken down each goal and the many goals, I would say, or items that you have listed here. It's fantastic to see and to present to the community. Did any of the board members have any questions for Rob on this?
Not really a question, but a statement. I think within a year, less than a year of you being here, figuring out the territory of what you have to deal with and getting in depth to identify a lot of needs and struggles and potential that we have in our district is a huge value for us growing and moving forward. So thank you very much for that effort. Very well structured.
I wanted to thank you as well. I mean, you've been here 8 months, and this is like,
That's what we've been
just,
looking
this is exactly
It's
what we
fantastic.
were looking
Yep.
for. So I'm very, very thankful.
Any other comments, board? All right. Thank you, board. The next item on our agenda is the 31A new positions. Rob, I believe you have this as well.
Yes, this is somewhat of a continued conversation of the strategic plan update that I just shared with you on, and we'll continue to update you on that as we change the colors and move the numbers of that chart. But walk with me here for a minute. We have many people in this room from varying backgrounds. However, I have 2 examples that I think all of us will be able to relate to, one of them, if not both. So imagine planting a field full of crops, but never assigning a farmer to manage it. You might have great soil, great seed, and the best intentions, but without someone responsible for tending to it on a daily basis, monitoring the progress, and making adjustments along the way, the harvest may not reach its full potential. Another example, imagine a football team taking the field, or any athletic team, taking the field on a Friday night, or whatever night it may be, without a head coach. The players may be talented, the playbook may be deep, they all know their plays, but if everyone's not on the same page, they all may want to win, we have challenges. But without someone calling those plays, coordinating the effort, holding everyone accountable, it becomes very difficult to move the ball down the field. Two examples I think we can relate to that will lead into where I'm going with these two new positions. For several years now, since the implementation of the strategic plan, there have been two main goal areas that we have seen great efforts, but lack of systematic support, folks working in silos. So we've had goals towards and around student pathways at the secondary level, all of the options that our students have, and we've had MTSS goals throughout the district. Yet, no single individual, besides the superintendent, has been responsible for cultivating and overseeing this work. A lot of times it gets delegated to principals, assistant principals, counselors, social workers, but we need unity across the entire organization, particularly with our unique model of every 2 years, K-5, our most vulnerable years, we have the most transitions for our kids. So tonight, I'd like to share an important step forward for Thornapple Kellogg schools. Again, our stakeholders have clearly spoke during our strategic planning process about the need for stronger student pathways. Based on that feedback, the district established goals to expand CTE opportunities, create clear college credit pathways, and provide alternative and hybrid learning options. To move these priorities forward, we are proposing a grant-funded Student Pathways Coordinator position through Grant Funds 31A. This role will guide students and families into CTE, dual enrollment, early college, virtual and alternative learning opportunities, oversee alternative and virtual programming, and serve as a central point of contact for pathway development and coordination. We have amazing counselors that do this work too, but we need district level support out and about in the community, connecting with families. Our counselors can't do this all on their own when they're counseling 900 kids. Our principals can't do this when they're running the building. A curriculum director and superintendent, one of 1,000 things. We have to have a dedicated person, if we're committed to positive change, to move this forward. In addition to that, through our strategic plan progress monitoring, we have identified additional needs around MTSS, intervention and alignment, support for advanced and struggling learners, attendance intervention, and consistent communication with families. Currently, before I retire, I will fix this number, because this is how I always gauge where are we at. Currently, in 9 of 14 state assessments, from 3rd grade through 11, so 9 out of 14 categories on the M-STEP, PSAT, SAT, 9 out of 14, we are below the county average. That's always my benchmark. I don't pay much attention to the state average because we should be well above the state average. I go to the county average because there's no different between my kids here at TK than kids in surrounding districts to the north. We all put our shoes on the exact same way. So before I retire, my goal with our team is we move those numbers forward, and all of our 14 areas are above the county average. But again, we have to have that farmer tending to the field, that head coach aligning all these things, and most importantly, supporting the teachers and students with boots on the ground. To address this, we're proposing a second grant-funded position, the Student Success Coordinator, again through 31A. This role will identify at-risk students using district data, coordinate targeted interventions, support attendance improvement efforts, monitor student progress with building-level teams, and ensure compliance and accountability with 31A. The job postings are in front of you in board docs, and it provides greater details about the responsibilities, policy alignment, and the next steps. For further reference, your packet also includes a brief financial summary outlining available Section 31A carryover funds, monies that aren't spent, not including monies from next year, along with cost recovery of reallocating current community enrichment positions, because some of this will contain some community enrichment responsibility, and also, most notably, the My School at Kent expenditures, which we want to bring it back, but can't bring back without this centralized oversight. So this will help fund these positions. So subsequent to any questions, this does conclude my informational report.
Thanks, Rob. Any questions from the board? No. We went pretty in-depth with this at the Personnel Committee, so a couple of us have all these details. And the overall, I would say, tone from that, the three of us that were there, we were really excited for these items. Rob went in a little bit more detail than he could right here. So we have a time frame, not really, but it is getting late and it's nice outside. But the additional details that Rob shared with us and the goal that he has for these new positions, I think it's really excited for the district. It's really exciting for the district because I think it only helps our students, like your analogy spoke about. So thank you, Rob, for bringing this to us.
Personally, something I really loved about this idea, because it's very out of the box, is that it doesn't just help the students and the families, but it also, I think, supports our staff a lot. So I think overall, it's just going to be a win-win for everyone across the board.
I think one comment, I think it just helps these students near the end of their career here further better themselves and just helping finish that cross that finish line to the next level.
And
I think
know
that's
what's
super
next,
important, yeah.
or have a possibility of
Helping them
what are
know
my
and-
possibilities.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. All right, thank you, board. Thank you, Rob. Our next item in the board items for action, the 2026-2027 school calendar. I'm sure this one is a hot button topic, Rob.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Oh, Mr. Provost, go ahead. You let him get the nice one. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so yeah, each year we need to work collaboratively with our TKEA, so special thank you to Jamie and Courtney. But we've been working on this over the course of the last probably 2-3 months to get this hashed out, and finally got to a place where you have it in front of you. Not too many changes, as you can see. We're looking to start school 2 weeks prior to spring break. This year it'll be August 24th. Last day of school will be June 4th. The one difference this year is we did look to expand our midwinter break. This year, we only had 1 day off for the staff and 2 days for the students. And this year, it'll be 2 days for staff and 3 days for students. So I think everyone will be excited about that. The early release days that we had 2 of them, one of which was just last week. If you recall, students got out 2 hours early. Those have gone away in the calendar for next year. Those will be full days where the staff will do PD outside of school for a couple hours.
Sure.
So, but other than that, very limited changes. And yeah, once again, just thank you to the union and our team for working collaboratively.
Great. Thanks, Mark.
Any questions?
I think you missed spring break is scheduled for April 2nd through the 9th. That's another big one.
Yes, and just for everyone out there, it will always be, typically, Kent County, it's always the first full week
yep.
in April.
Yep.
So that's one way to always gauge that.
Sometimes it shifts, but it is an important one. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
All right, board, any questions? Or we're willing to entertain a motion regarding the calendar.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education approve the 2026-27 school calendar.
I support.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Winger and support by Ms. Hess. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you, board. All right, next item on our agenda, the network electronics.
Okay, well, I'll take a stab at this one. John's here to back me up, but basically, yeah, first off, special thanks to John. If you haven't noticed in his write-ups, they're very detailed, very organized,
Yes.
so I do appreciate that. But yeah, this is, to help, I believe, to keep our district safe. Total amount of this came out to just over $219,000. One thing to note is this is USAC E-rate eligible, and that's based on free and reduced numbers. It's a federal program where we can request reimbursement called the BEAR form, and we get 70% in reimbursement. So the $219 will be the upfront cost, but then we will get 70% reimbursed. So the district met the bid requirement by posting on the State of Michigan Sigma procurement page for our vendors, and just only one vendor, Moss Telecommunication, bid that out. But luckily for us, we have a great working partnership with them, as they've been, I believe, our vendor since 2015, John wrote in his memo there. So happy that they stepped up and bid on it. So, but that's that one. You have any questions, I'll defer to John.
Okay. Any questions, board? All right, willing to entertain the motion, a motion on the network electronics.
Motion that the Board of Education award the network's electronics bid to Moss Telecommunications for the total cost of $219,406.28.
With support.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Price and support by Ms. Hilton. Any discussion on the motion? And that is a roll call vote, Ms. Hess.
Wenger,
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Flickema,
Yes.
Stanton,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Hess, yes, and Brock.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, board. The next item, the structured network cabling at Lee and Page.
Okay, this is another technology one that was part of our capital improvement funds that was listed on there, but this is just, once again, just looking to update our cabling and network drops at both Lee and Page Elementary. In total, though, on this one, we had 6 vendors submit on our segment procurement. And once again, though, we went with our lowest bidder, which was Moss Telecommunications, of which, like I said, we have a great working relationship with them. This, too, will also be E-rate eligible, where we will get 70% reimbursed. And then overall, the cost of this is, once again, going to be through the capital improvement fund, not the general fund. So.
All right. Any questions, board? All right, well, looking for a motion regarding the cabling at Lee and Page.
I'll recommend that the Board of Education award the structured cabling bid to Moss Telecommunications with a 5% contingency for a total cost of $44,139.39.
I'll support.
We got a motion by Ms. Hilton, support by Ms. Hess. Any discussion on the motion? All right, there's a roll call vote. Ms. Hess?
Wenger,
Yes.
Hess, yes, Brock,
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Stanton,
Yes.
Flickema.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, board. The next item, purchase of staff laptop devices.
All right. Well, John, I really appreciate, just his level of detail and just always looking at how are we going to replenish so that the expense doesn't hit at once. So this is part of the process of just our replacement plan for staff devices. The ones that are looking to be replaced look to be for the middle school and high school as they're nearing 5 years old, which is generally about the lifespan where, batteries start to go and so forth. But as he noted, and I've been seeing it myself, there is a significant price increase coming also through technology with everything going on. But so it's great that he was able to capture the REMC, which circumvents the purchasing or the procurement process by having it already vetted out. So it's nice to utilize this REMC bid where we're looking to purchase HP ProBook computers at a cost of $623.56, or in total $77,945 for the 125 staff devices.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions, board? All right, looking for a motion regarding the staff laptops.
This one's
That's
gonna be
a
tough
big one.
Yeah.
You got it, Ty?
All right. I make a motion that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 125 HP ProBook 4G1i 14 laptops from SEHI Computer Products Incorporated for a total cost of $77,945.
I'll support. We got a motion by Mr. Winger, support by Brock. Any discussion on the motion? All right, that was a roll call vote as well.
Stanton?
Yes.
Flickama? Hilton?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
Winger?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Brock?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, board. Purchase of smart boards for Page.
Well, as you recall, maybe, I don't know when it was, definitely when I was here though, so within the probably last year and a half, but we had a presentation up here of smart boards that we implemented at both Lee and McFall. We are now just looking to expand that to Page Elementary and looking to purchase 26 additional smart board panel or smart board interactive flat panels to finish out Page Elementary.
Will that be all of them and all the classrooms in Page will have them now?
Yes, that is my understanding, yep.
Okay, fantastic. I'm sure Ms. Foreman's very happy about that.
And this was also, once again, using REMC contract pricing.
And it was well received by teachers and everybody?
Yes, that is my understanding that they're working very well in both
Mr.
McFall
Sleeman's
and-
nodding, yeah? Very well, yes, awesome, great.
So,
Any other questions, board? All right, looking for a motion on the purchase of the smart boards for Page. I'll motion that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 26 smart boards MX075 units and accompanying software, hardware, and delivery charges from Fort for $95,100.
Support.
Got a motion by Brock, support by Mr. Winger. Any discussion on the motion? That is a roll call vote.
Flickama?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Hilton?
Yes.
Winger?
Yes.
Brock?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Motion carries.
All right. Last item on the agenda for board items for action, the approval of the 27L2 grant.
okay, 27L2, this is a categorical that we got in the December state aid status report related to educator compensation. When you go into the letter of the law for what these funds are for, it's to pay staff above and beyond their contract that they already have. Part of what we had to do is negotiate with both TKEA and TKESBA. So once again, appreciate Jamie, Ray Eister from the support staff. And we came to a letter of agreement that we are looking to pay all staff outside of Superintendent Pouch. But in total, we are looking to pay 443 staff members based on their prorated FTE for professional staff. And if you work over 15 hours and you're a support staff, you would get the full allocation. Right now, that is looking to be $790.20. So we are looking to distribute those funds March 27th, just so that we can make sure that the staff have that money going into spring break. So, which I think they would greatly appreciate.
Absolutely. All right, let's not hold this one up.
And I should also mention, yeah, the total allocation we received of $447,000, we had to back out the MIPSers or the retirement
Yeah.
costs as well as
Yep.
the FICA. So the district fund will be held harmless.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Any questions? Board? All right, looking to hear a motion on the 27L2 grant.
I motion that the Board of Education approve the disbursement of 27L2 grant funds to TK employees as presented.
I'll support.
We have a motion by Ms. Stanton and support by Ms. Hilton. Any discussion on the motion? All right, another roll call vote, Ms. Hess.
Brock?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Winger?
Yes.
Flickama?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
Hilton?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, board. This is the second opportunity for public input. Is there anyone that would like to speak? All right, go ahead. Mark will turn on the microphone right there.
Sit there and get my timer.
Good evening, Board. I am Lori Buchanan, and I live in the Thornapple Kellogg School District. And I appreciate Mrs. Winger's discussion tonight, and like her, I also have many generations in this district, and I reside in this district. So I also am aware of all the wonderful things that TK has to offer. I live here, my grandchild goes here, and which causes me to come here and watch our board meetings. I appreciate watching them online. So, but that doesn't mean that concerns won't arise, to which I've been in contact with the board at different times. Mr. Pouch, I heard you mention tonight transparency again, and tonight you specifically said we don't hide anything. So I wanted to address transparency tonight. And transparency is frequently cited by this board and Mr. Pouch, and I'm concerned about it, and specifically relating to a memo dated January 22nd from Mr. Pouch to the board and various staff. And I'll read that to you just so it's clear. This is from Mr. Pouch to them. Board, as a continued measure of transparency, attached is my response to an email we received today. I have learned that there have been an elevated history of FOIA requests to the district, which you are always committed to full transparency. These requests do add additional workload demands on staff. With that in mind, at times I will be adjusting how I communicate to the board moving forward. While that level of quality and communication will remain high, you may see fewer emails from me and more communication through phone calls, in-person conversation, or hand-delivered memos when appropriate. My intent is to remain transparent, accessible, and responsive, while also being mindful of staff time and resources. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or need additional information. Thank you for your continued support. That email mentions transparency 3 times. However, the approach that you propose specifically limits the public's access to school business. And if you are as transparent as you like to be, there would be no need for FOIA-related discussions and overburdening the staff with those FOIA requests. So if you want to mention transparency, I'd like to see it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hi, I'm Carrie Saxton. I teach at the high school, and my kids go here. I have one in 1st grade, right? And one in 6th grade. I teach English. I'm one of the track coaches, and I just wanted to invite you all. We're about to have a really good spring sports season, and today was the first day of practice. The weather was amazing. You know, it was so neat to see. You know, we were down at the track, and the baseball team came down to run sprints. I mean, like, you know, it was a really great day, and I know the rest of the week and maybe next week won't be, but I invite anybody, but you guys especially, to find a day where, you know, maybe there's like a home baseball, a home softball, a home soccer, something, and just, you know, walk amongst our wonderful grounds and enjoy the sports we have to offer. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Sure.
Good. Okay. My name is Laura Weeks. I have 2 kids at TK. I have an 8th grader going into high school next year, and then a 4th grader. And Jackie's not here, but I want to make sure that everyone's invited to the AOM state competition, which is a week from Saturday. As mentioned before, 12 teams made it to states, including my team. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows to come and support TK. I would not be surprised if some of those teams make it to Iowa, so. Okay.
Great, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Anyone else? All right, that will close the public comment session. Thank you, Ms. Provost. And now on to board comments. Are there any comments the board would like to share?
I would.
Okay.
Following last month's meeting, I would like to take a moment to speak about leadership and the standards we set as a governing body. While the board president and I might not always share the same viewpoints or philosophies, I have consistently found him to be responsive, accessible, and committed to this district. He returns calls and he replies to emails. He answers questions. When an issue is unclear, he takes the time to look into it and provide a response. I have never questioned Mr. Brock's dedication and passion for this district, its students, or its staff. We both care deeply about what is right for our schools. I think it's important to remember why we are here. We were elected to serve, not to elevate ourselves, not to revisit past conflicts, and not to allow personal dynamics to overshadow the work. It is our responsibility to focus on policy, student outcomes, fiscal stewardship, and the long-term success of this district. Effective governance requires professionalism, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to the role. When those standards are upheld, the board functions well and our community benefits. When they are not, progress slows and our attention shifts away from what truly matters, our students. My focus will remain on supporting leadership, asking thoughtful questions, and making decisions grounded in what's best for our students and this district. I will continue to approach this role with the seriousness, integrity, and respect for the responsibilities entrusted to us. Our students deserve a board that remains steady, focused, and committed to the work. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other board comments?
I'd just like to kind of piggyback on that. I feel the same way. You know, we came in and the goal was to help lead our students and our staff in our district through some challenges, and to overcome those challenges, we hired an amazing superintendent. All agreed that he had what it took to get the job done, gave him outstanding, all of us, an outstanding review, evaluation, spoke highly on all the work he's been doing to get us where we have to go. It's the first time I think we've all agreed and said, you know, he's gone above and beyond, thought outside of the box to really attack those areas that need to be addressed in ways that I hadn't even considered. So for me, I just wanted to say that I'm extremely pleased. I do agree with Brenda in the fact that, you know, it's time. It's time to start working together. If you have questions, ask the questions. I've done it many, many times. It has not been difficult at all. If I didn't understand something, I could email and ask, and I would get a quick response back from Derek, sometimes Rob. But either way, my questions have always been answered. Sometimes I don't agree, and that's okay. But the discussion's always been open. There's always been a back and forth, which I've really appreciated. And I think that happens when you speak respectfully. When you speak respectfully and you address things respectfully, you get the same response in return. So I've been very happy with that. Thank you.
All right, any other board comments?
I have a couple different things to say. Ditto to all that. I think, Rob, you're doing an amazing job. The plan that you've put together and the enthusiasm, I think, is contagious, and I can see it in the buildings, so I appreciate that. I'm a little upset you stole my comment about the Odyssey of the Mind. I was going to talk them up a little bit about the 12 out of the 18 teams. I think that's amazing that they are moving on to state. I think that's awesome. I think one thing you didn't mention, there was only 44 teams, and out of those, there was 18 TK teams. So I think that's an amazing testament to the program. Something near to my heart is the middle school team. Derek and I got to witness some amazing middle school wrestling. They were 26-0 this year, so that is amazing. And they outscored their opponent 2,107 points to 604. So, good job.
Yep. I think next month we have the state qualifiers for wrestling as well. And the cheer team, which everyone get here early if you would like a seat. And with the Odyssey of Mind, it gets packed very quickly. So, yeah.
The biggest walk down Main Street I've seen in a really long time. It was a ton of state qualifiers.
I saw the cheer send-off photos. Those were fantastic.
That was fun.
Absolutely great.
Yeah, I do want to speak on, really quick now that you said that. I just wanted to thank our cheer coaches. Just an absolute amazing job. She has literally, I don't know if a lot of you are familiar, but I've been here for a really long time, and I've had kids in cheer for a really long time. I have some adult kids, but I also have teenagers, and all but one have done cheer. So this coach, Coach Lula, and her team have taken this cheer program and have created a completely separate club program, K through 5, I believe, plus we have the 7th through 8th middle school. And within a very short window of time, there's already just, it is expanded to the point of, I don't even recognize that this is the same, this is all in our town. I'm getting calls from Hastings and Caledonia, hey, can we be a part of that program too? And so, I mean, it is doing wonders for our school. I hope that they get some recognition because it's blown up. We had a community day, and I've never seen so many people show up for these girls that went to state, and the little kids were getting signatures signed by the cheerleaders, and the cheerleaders were just overwhelmed with joy to have these little kids looking up to them, and it just really brought the community together. A lot of parents helped, a lot of volunteers came in and helped, so it was just a great, feel-good event, so I want to give a big shout-out to our cheer program.
Yeah, those youth cheerleaders that got to go and be a part of it, it put a big smile on their face, so it was fantastic.
I was actually very impressed with the cheer competitions. My daughter actually found a fit for herself.
Yeah.
Instead of catching butterflies and making fun of the soccer field, we can take our Saturdays and watch her be empowered in something she really enjoys, so.
If anyone's interested in coming to watch, please come and watch. You'll see Tyler's daughter, my daughter,
And a lot
and
of
Mark's
food.
daughter, and
A lot of food.
also I throw a tailgate for all the parents to come out and have fun as well. Yep, absolutely. All right, any other comments, board? All right, we're gonna adjourn at 8:26. Thank you.